When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The lens already and the jokes online. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Murph Man to start the show.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murphman. I am the Murph, and I'm here with my co-host Connor. How are we doing today, Connor?
Doing good today, Murph Man. How are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. I gotta tell you, doing pretty good. I've been working on that new video for Military Broadcast Radio.
And how's that going?
It's coming along. I got to set up all the characters and everything, and the scenes and all that stuff that I'm using on Google Flow. Getting that ready to go. And I started working on the scenes. So now I type in scene 32. Ducky does this and says this, and then poof, video's done. Well, that 10-second video.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I can actually do it with 3 or 4 different characters talking all at once. I don't have to splice it together anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
That's good.
What'd you do?
Just turned up a little bit.
Why, you thought they couldn't hear us?
I can't see the green. That's why.
You can't see the green.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I can.
Well, barely, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Thank you for your permission, sir. Hey, you guys, in case you haven't been watching this, I am the Murph, and this is my co-host, Connor. We're doing a show on everything you need to know for prepping for college and young adulthood. And we tend to, we're not experts here. We just pretend to be. And I like to say that we have a different outlook on podcasting because we tend to joke a lot and we're not too serious. And sometimes we go off topic. Sometimes we have adult language because we get into some heated conversations. I don't know what else I could say about that, Connor. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really.
Not really?
Nope.
Because I want our listeners to know that they're going to get a professional show. But every now and then, it's us. What can I say?
Yeah.
We get sidetracked. We have ADD. We tend to go off subject a lot. And what ends up happening is we'll never know. Like, for example, we were talking about the refinery last night, right? We have a refinery down the street here, and it's been having issues. Like, they've evacuated the neighborhoods around it. And if the refinery blows, we're 2 miles from it.
I would say so. Maybe.
We're in the blast radius, right? And I told Connor, I said, well, if it goes, at least we'll die quickly.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, anything going on in the world you want to talk about or anything that you find interesting right now?
No. Nothing.
Nothing?
Not that I know.
Nothing you can think of?
Not that I know.
Me neither. I've been busy working on this video. And I haven't done any TikToking, any scrolling, doom scrolling, none of that. So, and speaking of TikTok, we're actually going to be on the Military Broadcast Radio today. So we're trying to get over there so we can monitor it and chat with you. So if you guys are interested in talking to us, please write us, and we'll do our best to answer you and get back to you there. But what do you think, Connor? I think it's time we ignite the fuse for today's show.
I think so.
You ready?
Too. Yes.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Today in episode 48, we are talking about managing up, how to build a great relationship with your boss. Managing up isn't about manipulation. It's about proactively building a strong, productive partnership that makes both of you more successful. The fuse is lit. Murph Man, take the mic.
All right. Yes, the fuse is lit. What can we say, right? Today's episode 48, managing up. What does that mean? Well, managing up is about your relationships with your boss. Doesn't mean you're dating them or anything like that, but it's about you're proactively building a strong, productive partnership. Okay, that's the relationship we're talking about, not a inappropriate relationship. Although, would you ever have an inappropriate relationship with your boss?
No.
No, you don't want to do that, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not going to
They're
go
all
well.
men. Yeah, no. I'm good.
You're an idiot. They're all men. Um, I was referring to the fact like if you break up, your life's going to be miserable
Nah.
because they're going to come after you, you know. But you don't want to do that, right?
No, not really. It's not my cup of tea.
It's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
You drink tea.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's going to be one of those days, everyone. I got to tell you. You know, it's interesting because I've had a lot of different jobs, and I've told you before that we have not had a lot of uh, bosses. I've been lucky, and I've had a lot of really good ones.
I've had some bad ones.
Yeah, but I mean, in my career, since
Oh, your career, yeah.
my 43 years of working, I started at 14. If you want to go down to volunteering my time at 12 years old at Safety Town and Girl Scouts camp, well, it was a Girl Scouts camp that let you go. My brothers go in, and I went and was a mentor with them, you know. And we have we had doing that since I was 12 years old. So it's one of those things that you just never know what's going to happen. And I've had some pretty good luck with bosses, so thank God that I've had that. And I will tell you, one of the things that I enjoyed was having bosses that respected me, but didn't expect me to do things that I couldn't do. So they were very nice with me on that aspect,
Mm.
you know. And I built a relationship with them, and I was able to go out and build myself up because of the bosses that I had. And that's what I want to talk about today, you guys. So let's talk about that in our segment called The Burning Question.
Today's burning question is, what is managing up? Is it A, doing your boss's job for them? Maybe it's B, manipulating your boss to get what you want. Could it be C, proactively building a productive partnership with your boss? Or is it D, complaining to your boss about problems? Let's kick it back to the Murph Man and Connor to see what the answer is.
Before we get to the burning question answer, Veteran Sock said, depends on if the boss is hot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter how attractive he is. I'm not going to do anything with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So we talked about the burning question, doing the boss's job, right? The best way to ask is, what is managing up? Doing your boss's job for them, manipulating your bosses to get what.
Hello? Are we good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in. We're good.
Okay. Sorry.
So what was
Well, it's because you weren't on stage. That's why.
Okay. Why wasn't I on stage?
I don't know.
Okay.
So now we're good. So it's because I was moving the script and then it touched the touchpad on the computer and swiped out.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
So, what do you think the answer is?
I think it's C.
See, proactively building a productive partnership with your boss.
Yes.
I agree with that. It's one of those things that you want to have a relationship with your boss. You want to be with them and talking to them and seeing what's going on, right? I've had relationships with my bosses. When I was in the Army, I was lower enlisted, and I worked with captains, majors, lieutenant colonels on the regular. And there was one time that I think is so funny was when we were in Somalia, we were in the back of a truck and we're driving around, and we're surrounded by buildings, and there's people poking their heads out like they had never seen an American before. We were lost as hell. The person driving, I was going to kill him. By the way, that was Christian Aguilera's father. I was ready to kill him, literally, not figuratively, literally. And anyway, I'm in the back of the truck with a social worker. All right, just a straight up social worker. He's an officer. And they gave us rifles. He didn't have a pistol like he's trained on. He's like, I said, get your rifle, lock and load, blah, blah, blah. You ready to shoot? He's like, I don't even know how to use this. I said, I don't care right now. Just goddamn get ready to shoot, you know. It wasn't about rank with anyone I've ever worked with. It was, we had respect for each other, that we could talk like that to each other.
Yeah.
You know, and I was able to enjoy doing that because as we talked about this with other people, a lot of things happened, and we talked to the officers, and you know, I took it upon myself to train a lot of the officers. I told you, like, one thing I was really good at was all the social skills. Even though I was medical personnel, my social skills were awesome, to the point where, like, in training at NTC, I told you I killed the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew how to fire the weapons. You know, it's
Well, yeah. That's how it works.
well, when you're medical, your job is to save people, so it's more focused on saving lives and taking them. But I
Oh.
told myself, I don't know wherever I'm going to be, I might need to do things like that. So I learned how to do things. And in training, the guy next to me was quote unquote wounded. And he hands me this weapon and says, kill the tank. So I did.
Wow.
You know. And to me, to me, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the military, and I wish I would have stayed in, but my marriage couldn't handle any more divorce separations, and eventually we got divorced anyway. So I should have just stayed in.
Dang.
It sucks, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
4 years later, and it all went to hell in a handbasket. You know, it's one of those things that you can't really explain to people who haven't been part of it. It's, you know, you say, oh, well, you know, yeah, you want to save your marriage and everything. It's not always that easy. It's not always that easy, you know. And as we do this, I want you guys to think about that and how your relationship with your boss stacks up. And we're going to talk about today's hot take.
Today's hot take is this: your boss is not your parent, your friend, or your therapist. They are your most important customer. Managing up is the strategic practice of making their job easier so they can, in turn, advocate for your success without feeling obligated. Let's see how the Murph Man has helped his bosses' lives get easier, and in some cases, harder.
Why did I say harder? Because I'm a pain in the butt, right?
Yeah.
But your boss is not your parent, your friend, or your therapist. They are your boss. They're there to tell you what you need to do, what you need to change, and you need to do it. That's the bottom line, right? But managing up talks about the strategic practice of making their job easier so that they can, in turn, advocate for your success without feeling obligated. You know, when you do something for somebody, they're more apt to help you. You know, one of the things, if you ever want anyone to help you, the first thing you have to do is help them. Okay. Stephen Covey, one of the habits that we talked about in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about the emotional piggy bank, emotional bank account. You can't take out of your bank unless you put money in first, right? Okay. Same way with a relationship. You have to put the money in, you have to put the effort in, you have to put everything in before you try to take anything out. And there's relationships, and I've talked to you about them in my life, where people are just taking, not giving anything. At some point, I just say, okay, that I'm done with you, right?
Yeah.
I'm done. That's it. I'm done. And before you know it, it happens. I get them out of my life, and my life gets easier, right?
Yeah.
So you're not there to be friends with your boss, but when you need them to advocate for you, they are there, right?
Yeah.
To the point where I'll give you the example of when your mom passed away. I just couldn't be a counselor anymore. I couldn't. For 3 months, I was working my butt because I had lost a lot of time because she was sick in the hospital and everything, and I was trying to make up all that time. And there was one day that I was driving back at 8 at night from Fabian's, and I had to pick you up at daycare at 8 o'clock. I was going to be about 15 minutes late, maybe 20 minutes. I called the daycare and tell them I'm sorry. I got late. They're ready to go home.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen often. Let me make that very clear. So
it was like 2 times probably.
Yeah. But as I was driving, I'm like, you were 9 years old at daycare. Your mom died 3 months ago. And I'm out here working my butt off for what?
For money, a job.
Well, I know that now, but that's not the point. I asked to be released from work. And my boss talked to my CEO and got me a severance plan, a small little package of funds that I was able to use. They paid for my vacation. They gave me an extra month's salary, and they let me go. No questions asked, really. And it ruined our lives for a while. I'm not going to lie. I lost my job, and I ended up losing the car, ended up losing the house. It is what it is. And I told you I'm back, baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could not do counseling anymore, and my boss understood that. She gave me the time I needed to be with my wife. She gave me the time I needed to try to make up. When I knew I wasn't going to make it, I cut my losses. She let go of me, and it wasn't a horrible thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like she understood the situation. She helped me. So having that relationship with your boss sometimes helps in ways you cannot ever imagine. But I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the different terms that we're going to be using in today's episode in our segment called Laying Down the Coals. Stay tuned.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, "This is a man's best friend." Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, we are back. I got to tell you real quick, that video by Ryan Spencer made such an impact on my life. Well, I wouldn't say my life. It's not like I was suicidal or nothing, but I advocate for suicide awareness every time I have the show. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or not. 988, press 1. Someone's there, 375. 365. 24/7, 360. God damn, I couldn't say it. 24/7, 365. There we go.
There you go.
And someone's always there to listen to you. So call them if you need help. 988, press 1, and they will help you. But Ryan Spencer, I got to tell you, is a really cool guy. And I'm hoping one day I can take the time and actually interview all of these people that I have on the show as far as music, because I really, truly love some of these artists that we have. And I'm trying to play more artists. I don't know if you noticed, I've been trying to change the videos up.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that on our next break. So let's get to the laying down the coals and talking about our terms for today.
Before we dig into today's show, let's clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today while laying down the coals. Managing up. The process of consciously working with your superior to obtain the best possible results for you, your manager, and the organization. Communication styles. Understanding whether your boss prefers quick updates via Slack, formal weekly emails, or in-person check-ins. Proactive support. Anticipating your manager's needs and offering solutions before they have to ask.
Yeah, 32 listening. All right. So, managing up, the process of consciously working with your superior to obtain the best possible results. Communication styles, understanding whether your boss prefers quick updates via Slack, formal weekly emails, or in-person check-ins. And proactive support, anticipating your manager's needs and offering solutions before they ask. Let's talk about those real quick, one by one. When you have a boss that is busy, 90 to 95% of their time is spent managing employee issues. You don't want to be part of that, right?
Nope.
With every boss I've had, I have a great relationship with them. But I can walk in, say, you got a sec? And they know it's more than a sec because they know me. And I can sit there and I can talk to them about an issue real quick. And we come out. And what's the thing I always told you? When you have a problem, you have to come with a
Solution.
Very good. So I walk in there, here's what I want to do. What do you think? And, you know, they'll say yes, no, maybe so, whatever, right? But there's been times where I've walked in with bosses and I said, I am up to here with whatever's happening. I cannot do this. I said, something needs to change, you know, and they'll tell me, well, tough. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the way it is, all right. But at least they heard me out, right?
Yeah.
I had one boss that I had, and I told you guys about it before, that I didn't like him. He was a jerk with me, and one day he really set me off. He triggered me. I went into my principal's office and said, can I just sit in here before I kill somebody? And she says, sure. Walked out of the office. She already knew what it was. She walked out of the office and just let me stay there until I chilled out, you know. And again, we go back to that relationship with the boss, right?
Yeah.
You know. And if I'm wrong, that's another thing. The hardest thing is to walk up to someone and say, we have a problem. We need to talk about it. I really believe that if you sit there and you talk to someone, you hash out your problem, and you move on. And that's the way it should be, right? You should be able to just walk up and say, you're not doing this right. We need to talk about this. Or I have a concern about the way you're doing this. There's certain phrases you got to use, of course. You can't just walk up and say you're screwing up.
Mm-hmm.
But as you sit there, right, when you're talking to your boss and they're talking to you, don't take it personally. You know, with that other boss I told you I hated, it was personal because I wasn't the only one that saw that, you know.
Yeah.
Like there was times when I'd make a meeting that he had to be at, and he would blow me off. And then the person that I was going to meet with is like, what's going on? I'm like, he didn't come. Like, I don't know what to tell you. One time I had a boss with the superintendent's public affairs person, and he blew them off. And she just, hold on. She calls him on his cell phone and says, why aren't you at the meeting? And he goes, oh, I don't care. I need you to drop what you're doing and come here right now. And then she tells me, you can leave. Yeah, you know, sometimes there's always a bigger boss. You know, and also, I don't believe in like personal vendettas and stuff like that. Your bosses have a job to do, and if you're not doing it, you need to be talked to, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, then there's next escalations. You have to move up and everything. So think about that as we talk about this, because it's not just a good relationship with your boss. It's also how to deal with bad stuff. That's why we get to the communication styles. How do you communicate with your boss? Do you drop in for 1 second and say, hey, just a quick check-in every day, right? Or every time I go to the office, I walk in, see her, hey, I'm here. Anything going on that you need to talk to me about? No. Anything? No, I don't have anything. All right. See you later. Boom. Go out and do my thing. When there was something, if she needed me to come into the office, she'd call me and say, hey, Sean, I need you to come into the office. Okay. And there was one time, I want you to think about this. We got a state grant to run the runaway shelter, right? And I was a counselor. One day she's at the office and the FBI shows up looking for me. And she's like, my secretary sees her first. Let me call my boss. Calls the boss. The boss comes over. What's going on? I'm looking for Sean Murphy. And she says, let me see where's that. Let me call him. She calls me and she's like, Sean, the FBI is here to see you. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm already on my way there early. Sean, when the FBI comes to the building, you need to let me know these things. Well, I was actually a witness in an attack on a cop, and I was the star witness, and the FBI interviewed me and everything. That's all it was. It wasn't anything bad. There was another time that the FBI came to the building because we had a father, one of the kids, who was wanted by Interpol.
Oh.
Seriously, like they were on the run, and the kid ran away from the father, came to the runaway shelter, and got the father arrested. And she says, my dad's wanted by Interpol. And she just, yeah, so FBI has been around a lot, you know, in my life. There was this one time I had a kid who came in, and he talked about his dad flushed 4 bricks of marijuana. Do you know what a brick is?
Yeah.
Right? They're not little bricks, right? Yeah. Good size. 4 bricks of marijuana that he was supposed to sell, and he flushed it down the toilet. And the kid was like, they're going to kill me. And he wasn't joking. He wasn't joking. His father didn't understand that. And they eventually went into WITSEC.
To where?
WITSEC, witness security, you know, like where they get a new identity and leave town there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because turns out it was like a huge bust. FBI involved, DEA. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, when I would actually go to these meetings, like I had meetings with certain organizations, they would be talking to me like I was one of them. They'd share information with me because they knew I wouldn't share information. They told me things. They gave me a little bit of background story on the situation. They gave me a lot more detail than they probably should have. But that's because of how I communicate with people, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, proactive support. Anticipating your manager's needs. Well, if you know on Friday morning that your boss likes coffee, right? And we have a meeting on Friday morning. If you're working at the shelter that day, turn a pot of coffee on. That takes nothing, right? If you go to the meeting and your boss is going to say, I need to know how many clients you have, how often are you seeing them, what's your expected numbers for the month, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can't go, oh, hold on. Let me. You already know what the meeting's about. You should go in there prepared, right? I was watching TikTok the other day, and there's a CEO that talks about my first job in an interview is tell me about the company that tell me about my company. Why would he do that?
To, I don't know, understand.
If you want to work for me,
You gotta understand what you're working for.
yeah, you want to know what it entails, right?
Yeah.
When I went to the job interview at the runaway shelter the first time, actually a transitional center next door, the boss asked me, "Have you ever heard of this place?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "When I was 16 years old, I got in the car with some girls that we met, and turns out the car was stolen, and they drove it here. And they're like, you can take the car if you want." And we're like, "No." And we left. And she laughed, and she says, "You don't know how many times that has happened."
Oh, wow.
Because these were people with issues, right? But that was my interview. She's like, "What do you know about this place?" I'm like, I know the basic programs, but let me tell you a personal story." And I told her that because it wasn't my fault. I was 16. I didn't know the car was stolen. Um, but yeah, it just that question of why do you want to work here is one thing, but tell me about the company. What about the company makes you want to work here? You can't be like, "Oh, it's a good company because the people are nice and the company has," right?
Yeah.
Like for example, when you went to your job at the theaters,
Mm-hmm.
you already knew what the theaters were. You already knew everything, right?
Yeah.
But if I was the boss, I would have asked you, "What makes you want to work for us?"
Popcorn.
And th- that's fair, right? But you're 16. You don't have any idea what your job's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like I come to the movies here, and people seem pretty cool, and I think it'd be a fun place to work, right?
Yeah.
Real
I
simple.
said something like that. Yeah.
And then it was funny because you had a resume. Remember that?
Yeah.
And your boss was like, "You have a resume?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You had never worked before, but you had a lot of skills on there from your football team, from your managing, from everything, right?
Yeah.
So little things like that throughout your whole career, whenever you're talking to your bosses and you're sitting there and you're looking for a job or you're trying to change jobs or you're trying to do something different. Excuse me. You're trying to do something different. Those little things matter in the long run because it's that first impression sometimes that makes a big difference. And I told you I walked out of a job interview one time where the person said their first answer, it was first question to me, the first official question of the interview was, "Have you ever been told you gossip too much?" And I said, if you have a problem with gossip here and you're trying to find out if someone's a gossiper, that's not how you do it. I said, but that tells me I don't want to work for you. I said, thank you for taking the time to see me today. And I got up and walked out. Like, it was like within 2 minutes. And, yeah, there's some places you gotta act fast. You gotta fire quickly. You gotta get out quickly. When you see something wrong, you know. I'll tell you what, let me tell you a story about Chris. Because I tell people, hearing a different story from a different point of view is important. So let's talk about Chris real quick in our segment called Story from the Fire.
In today's story from the fire, an employee, Chris, waits for his manager to assign him tasks and only speaks up when there's a problem. His colleague, Alex, schedules a brief weekly check-in, learns her boss's top priorities, and proactively suggests ways to help. Alex is seen as a leader and is given more responsibility and better projects. That was a story from the fire. Murph Man, are you feeling the heat?
So you have Chris who waits for someone to assign him a task when there's a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sit back and just wait for something to be told. Alex, on the other hand, is more proactive. Schedules a brief weekly check-in, learns her boss's top priorities, and proactively suggests ways to help. When we had employees at work that weren't doing their job, I was always giving my boss input. the perspective. And she counted on me for a lot of things. I was never officially the boss or whatnot, but everywhere I've gone, I've been that person. The boss can turn to me and say, "What do you think we should do in this situation?" And I'll say, "Well, here's what I would do," and it's always something more harsh because I'm a jerk, right? But it gives them the perspective of, well, we don't need to go there yet. Let's do this. But it gives them a direction of where they want to go,
Yeah.
If you see a problem and you can fix it, or you have a suggestion to fix it, talk to the boss. The boss might say, no, that won't work because of X reasons, but it'll give us this idea to do, right?
Yeah.
So you want to have that interaction with your boss. You want to talk about it, and you want to be able to build that relationship so that your opinion does matter. You're not just saying stupid things to be funny or whatever. You're saying things that really matter because it affects you as a team member, right? And for example, if you're the boss, I already told you about 90-95% of your time is taking care of employee issues. Where do you want to focus? Do you know what a bell curve is?
No.
Right. A bell curve is this thing that looks like a bell, right? And the straight center is the median, the exact center of people, 50% left, 50% right. And they're up here. And as you go down from 85%, right, you go to the top 15% and the top 2%. And then the outlier is 1%. Meaning good and bad, okay, because you're on both sides of the scale. If you're exactly in the center, right, you're not good, you're not bad, you're not a problem. Or you're 2 standard deviations out, which means it's further out on the scale where there's less people. If you were a manager, where would you focus your time?
I don't know.
On that person who's in the middle and trying to make them better, the one who's good, and you really don't need to do too much for them. Where should you focus your time?
The person that's average, I would say.
What if I told you it should be the opposite?
On the good people?
Yeah. Because they're the ones setting the example. They're the ones who are your leaders on the team. And if you work with them, maybe not all the way at that 2 deviations, but you want to talk to the higher team, top 15%.
Yeah.
Because if you work with them, they will get better. Because that's who they are. And other people will be pulled as a team. If you have real true teamwork, you get pulled as a team. Now, I can tell you, when I worked with MHMR here, with Thelma and Candy, and I know you never met them.
Yeah.
We were the... Thank you.
I thought you would since you clicked it.
How did I click it? Oh, the mouse.
I was like, I was even.
Sorry about that.
That's funny.
So Candy, Thelma, and I were the top 3 producers in the company. Everybody was producing 70 to 80 hours. We were producing 103 to 120.
Okay.
Okay. The competition with Thelma, Candy, and me was so funny because we would be happy we beat each other by just 1. You know what I mean? We were 25% better than the company, right? Between the 3 of us, we did, what's the math here? 4 employees' work. So technically, we were an extra employee among the 3 of us. That's how much work we were doing, okay? If not 2 employees. And the team we were on had 6 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
When our numbers would come out, the other 3 people would be like, how do you do it? And we'd be like, well, we do this. And then 1 year, 1 month, we had an employee make 85 hours, almost 90. She was so happy. Like, she's like, I got my hours up. I'm like, all right, I'll do that every month. Right? She couldn't keep up the effort. And we were like, how can we help you? Because we saw that she wanted to do better. We tried to pull her along with us and said, how can we help you? Right?
Yeah.
How can we help you? And it's one of those things that when you talk about this, you look at it and you say, okay, if you focus on the higher employees, they will do better and they'll pull you in. Okay, that's what you want to do. Excuse me. And if you're really working on all of these issues with the lower people, you need to cut them off. Get new people, because it's not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
How many? Nobody wants to fire anybody, but how long do you have to go with somebody before you actually get rid of the poison? Right. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about those actionable steps we can take in our segment called the heat map.
The heat map will show you where to focus your efforts for the most impact. Make it your job to understand your manager's goals, priorities, and pressures. This allows you to align your work with their needs. Ask your manager directly, what's the best way for me to keep you updated on my work? This sets clear expectations. When you encounter a problem, bring it to your manager with at least one potential solution. Be a problem solver, not a problem spotter. Let's see how the Murph Man and Connor help their bosses.
All right. Make it your job to understand your manager's goals, priorities, and pressures. It allows you to align your work with their needs. Ask your manager directly, what's the best way for me to keep updated on my work? And also be a problem solver, not a problem spotter. You know, I'm a problem spotter, but I'm also the problem solver. I see a problem, I bring it up and I talk about it, and I give suggestions. You know, when you're at work and there's problems and you got to fix it, you got to be proactive and you got to fix it. There was times where I saw something that I could influence, and I changed it, and problem went away. You know, I didn't have to go get approval for nothing. You know, I took care of it, and a lot of the team I worked with were that kind of person. We took care of problems. When we go to my boss and say, hey, we got a problem with this, she would talk about it and she would say, like, what can we do? What are the options? What can you change? What can you do? So here's what I would like to do. I already have a solution. I told her the solution, and I said, I don't know, would that work? And she's like, no, that because of this and this, but how about we change this and this? Fine, I'll do it. And that afternoon, I was doing it. You know, have solutions. Help your boss with that. Because you're a different perspective. You've seen the number 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look at me like I'm an idiot. Hold on. If I draw number 6 right here between you and me, what number are you going to see?
9.
But we're seeing the same exact thing. So perspective changes perception. Because your boss is up here, they don't really see what they're doing. Right? And one of the stories that I like about in the military, they talk about the ranks. They talk about a field. That's where all the soldiers are. And then you have a fence with 1 rung. That's your lieutenant, second lieutenant.
Yeah.
Then you have a fence with 2 rungs. That's your captain. And then you have a maple leaf, which is your major, and that's a maple tree. Then you have the colonel, which is an oak leaf, and that's a taller tree. Eventually you get a colonel who's a bird, higher up and flying around and seeing the whole battlefield, right? Yeah. And then you have a general in the sky. You know, as you go up the ladder, you see more, but you also lose touch with the lower people. If you focus on that and you ask yourself, like, what do you do, right? If you can bring that perspective to your boss and say, hey, I have this problem. What can we do to fix it? What can we do to change it? What, you know, whatever. And they said, okay, we'll see what we can do. You know, like I didn't have an office where I worked at, and I had to like go to places to eat or restaurants and work on my stuff, or go home and work on it, you know, after hours. And it was very difficult. So my boss talked to housing and got me an office at the housing department. And I was able to go over there and I did all those things, right? And what's nice about it is I was able to have an office in a community that needed the help, and I had an office to do my work, right? Everybody wins. So sometimes when you have a problem and you don't have a solution, you know, but you're trying to solve it, and your boss comes up with an idea, you give them the idea. Because you're like, you know, where can I be that I can service people but still have an office without having to pay for anything? And the housing authority pulled through, and they took me in and worked with them for about 1.5 years or 2 years. They needed the office. And one thing that happened there was pretty funny. I'm in my office, and there's an officer doing a class or a meeting or something in the other office, and I hear his taser go off. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Now, I mean, it wasn't the taser that shot the arrows. It was the taser that, just the little...
Isn't that with arrows?
No, they take that off, and they have a taser.
Oh.
So I hear the laser activate. And usually, what do you hear when cops are activating a laser?
They say taser. No.
Taser, right? Yeah. Okay. I didn't hear that. I didn't know what was going on. I ran into his office thinking someone was attacking him or something. And he was just showing people how it worked. So one of the kids wanted to see how it worked. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I heard your taser and I didn't hear any warning." He starts laughing. So after the meeting, he goes over to me and goes, "I'm so sorry." He says, "Most people would hear a taser and be like, 'What's that?'" I forget who's in the office across the hall from me,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
That's funny.
And one of the things, like I tell people, I'm not great with weapons or anything, but when I was in the Army, I was an expert marksman. I would hit 40 out of 40. Again, we go back to soldier skills, right? And that's one reason I love this next song. It's called Adios Amigo by Dallas Alexander, the world's longest sniper shot. We're going to break him right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Staring out this hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. They say it's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions.
I don't hear anything either.
All right, we are back from break. Adios, amigo. World's longest sniper shot. Dallas Alexander. Check out his channel on Spotify. I forgot to hit return. All right. Let's hear our segment called Where You're Going to Get Burned. It's those pitfalls you might have as you try to deal with some of these actions that we're talking about in managing up.
Let's talk about where you'll get burned. These are some common pitfalls. Avoiding your manager. Proactive communication builds trust. Don't only talk to them when there's a crisis. Surprising your boss with bad news at the last minute? Deliver bad news early so they have time to help. Complaining about problems without offering solutions. I wonder what kind of solutions can the Murph Man and Connor come up with?
All right, so we have the segment Where You're Going to Get Burned. Avoiding your manager. Okay, proactive communication builds trust. Don't only talk to them when there's a problem. That's why I tell parents, you want to be able to have a parent that comes in and talks to their kid, not only when something is wrong, but when something's good too. You can't be all negative. That's the whole thing with the boss. Surprising your boss with bad news at the last minute. You know, what do you think, Connor? Should you tell your boss you're looking for a job?
Well, yeah.
But then if you don't get it, what happens?
Well, that's why I'm just looking, right? Not saying I got one. I'm just looking.
Right, but he's going to say, or she's going to say, you're not putting your effort in here because you're looking for another job, or your attitude's changed since you looked for a job. You know, they're going to start getting negative with you.
Okay, then if they're getting negative, then that's not a good thing.
The good bosses don't.
Yeah, no. They
Okay.
should talk or something, not try to affect the job you have right now. And if they do, then honestly, leave.
Well, you're trying to, but you can't always just leave.
Or if they're acting like that, then I would leave.
All right. Yeah. Would you go without going to another job? That's my whole point. You got to get another job first, and in that meantime, it's going to be hell. Now, real quick, Connor wasn't paying attention to the chat for all those of you who were asking questions. Let me address this real quick.
Because it wasn't loading. So sorry. But it's because I was looking, and it still showed, like, you know when you join a live, it only shows, like, Connor joined the live, and then whatever the automated message is, and then, yeah. I had to get out of it and then go back in, and then I just saw, like, 50-plus chat. I'm like, oh, wow.
So, what's your major? That's one of the questions they're asking.
Computer science.
Computer science.
That already answered. Sorry, I was on my phone texting my personal chat. But yeah, computer science at UTEP.
And studying cybersecurity. All right. We have conferences to hear the elders' concerns for the youth. That's good, JJ Sweet. You know, you need to have mentors out there, right? Such as our boss right now, H Train. He's a great mentor. He does amazing stuff. He had a mentor, Mr. Bennett, that he talks about. You know, mentors are very, very important. I appreciate that. Thank you for everything we do, Nexus, or the creator Nexus. Sorry. And then let's see what else I'm admitting. Broadcast Beaker, he's sleepy. Cassie's sleepy. That's funny.
Oh yeah, she's
hopefully you're more woken up now that you've been listening to us. Let's see what else, Connor. What's your major? They're monitoring. Good morning. Good morning, JJ Sweet. I appreciate all you guys' comments. I really do. Sorry, Connor's phone wasn't uploading correctly, so we got him finally on the chat on our laptops, so we're able to do that. Thank you for the rose, Yaneth. I really appreciate that. And it's okay to tell your boss things aren't working for you. It is. That is very true, JJ. It is very true that you have to talk to your boss. Okay, you have to. If it's not working for you, same way. I say fire quickly, quit quickly. All right. All right. So let's talk about our next segment, our heat shields. Those are things that will help you prevent getting burned.
Here are your heat shields. Your Managing Up heat shield is the solution-oriented partnership. The biggest heat source is misalignment between your work and your manager's priorities. Deploy this shield by only bringing a problem to your boss if you also have a clear, documented suggestion for a solution. This proactive shield shows ownership, signals that you are a partner, and protects your manager from unnecessary stress. What do you think, Connor? When you had a problem, did you come up with a solution when talking to the boss?
No, not really.
No?
I didn't have any problems with the boss.
No, not with the boss. Did you ever talk to your boss about problems?
No.
And did you have solutions about them?
No.
Did you ever talk to your boss about problems?
Yeah, some stuff with like other coworkers or like customers, but I didn't have a solution to it. I just kind of addressed it to him, just like, hey, this is kind of what's happening. Just want to let you know.
Okay.
And I went back to cleaning theaters.
So you're just making them aware of stuff. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
God. The biggest heat source that we talk about is misalignment between your work and your manager's priorities. Bringing a problem to your boss and having a solution is not helping anybody. That's just going to take more of their time. Even if your solution sucks, give them a solution. This proactive shield shows ownership and signals that you are a partner and protects your manager from unnecessary stress. Because your boss is going to have stress no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have stress. So, JJ, she sent us a singing mushroom.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You know, as we do this, okay, as you talk to your boss, as you deal with issues, and as you come up with solutions, it builds rapport, it builds relationships, increases communication, all that stuff, right? But one thing it also does is it gives you the experience of being a manager and what you have to do. When you have a boss that tells you, my boss is telling me to do this, I don't know how to do it. Can you help me? Yeah, that's what I do, right? But sometimes you're like, why would he want you to do that? Or why would she want you to do that? Like, that's just stupid. Oh, he has this, he has this. And I'm like, that's not going to work, from someone in my perspective. Well, we have to do it. That's stupid. But we have to do it. You got to do it. And that's the way it is, right? That's what having a job is. Let's see, JD talks about running a summer youth program that got kids ready for college prep and the work. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's what this podcast is about, JJ, is we have the experience as a parent, as a counselor, as an educator, as a student, and we try to share that with everybody because I talk about all different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
As a counselor, as a educator, all the different perspectives is what I try to give you, and 25 years of experience teaching at the college. This is my 26th. So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. A lot of years doing this, and I've been doing counseling since I was 19 years old, and I just celebrated a 57th birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you, but what's that? 19, what's 57 minus 19? 38? Yeah. Okay. 38 years of psychology, counseling, teaching. That's a lot of experience. Oh, and 30 years, no, I lied, 25 years of marriage to two different women, but 25 years of marriage. 19 years as a dad. Lots of experience here, right? And that's why I started this podcast. I want to share with you guys, and I want to talk with you. So, hey, Gigi, let me reach out to you, and maybe we can get on the show and talk about some stuff, if that's cool with you. So go ahead and you're out of the chat.
You told me to.
I'll message you, JJ, and let you know. Maybe we can get together and do something, okay? Let's see here. I'm going to follow you there. All right. And let me go to your page. Okay. I did that. I followed you. And, you guys follow us and add us. We'd be happy to talk to you. All right. Oh, JJ, she followed us. Yay. Right on. Thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know you want me to say something.
No.
Followed us or followed MBR? Okay, just want to make sure.
Maybe she just followed MBR, but
that's what I was asking.
Yeah, well, she followed the host.
So MBR.
Well, I don't know if we're the host. JJ, who'd you follow? Pure Hot Takes or MBR? Because you can follow both. I'm curious. That's a good point. Who's the host?
I think MBR.
Well, follow the Murph Man at Pure Hot Takes, and we definitely can do that. Okay. So MBR, yeah, there she answered.
Yeah.
She's part of the Baddies Club. All right. I gotta know more about these Baddies clubs. I'm 57 years old. Your definition of baddie and my definition of baddie might be very different, but then again, it might be the same. So you never know, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Connor? Do you have a definition of baddies?
No, a TV show.
What TV show?
Baddies.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
What's it about?
It's one of those what is it? Like live like the Kardashians or something? Where it's like live and the cameras follow like the life of someone.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's just a group of girls, and I don't know what the whole point of the show is, but they get angry at each other and they just fight and argue with each other. That's it. I've never seen it. I've seen one episode probably.
Episodes on TV or shows on TV have deteriorated. I swear to God. Do you remember the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The one where the guy comes back 500 years later in the future, and they're all stupid.
Yeah.
And he's the smartest guy on the planet, right? The people who were smart and couldn't have babies, and you have the idiots who have 20 babies,
Yeah.
The shows are just getting more stupid every year. What do you think is the stupidest reality TV show out there?
Reality show, that's what it's called. I don't really watch any, but I don't know. I don't know any reality shows. That's one thing I don't look up.
Well, you know The Bachelor, Love Island. You watch Love Island, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a reality show, but it's not, but it is.
Dating, let me just digress here real quick. Dating somebody, okay, to date someone nowadays, you can't just walk up to them. I'll tell you right now, I know you're not in that dating field like I am, all right?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm remembering the chat, JC, we're facing problems like bosses. Yeah, and Idiocracy is a great movie. I lost my train of thought. I was reading what she wrote.
Love, how we are different.
Oh yeah. I go online and I'm on chats and I'm meeting people or whatever, and everyone's like, I want to get married. I'm like, okay.
In like 5 years?
Well,
they're talking to you.
I tell people like, I'm 57. I don't want to get married again. So that's your goal?
Not me.
I'm not your person. I said, at the same time though, why do you need to talk about marriage?
Benefits. People only do it for that.
Yeah. I'm single by choice. Well, not single. I have a friend I see, but What I mean is, I'm not married, right? I'm not married because my life needs to get in order a little better before I can even bring anyone into this house or move in with them or whatever we choose to do, right? You got to go to college. You got to get the hell out of the house, right? There's so much more that has to happen before I feel comfortable having a relationship like that. But then I'm like, I don't want to be in a relationship right now that where someone's at the house all the time. I like my privacy. I like my free time. I like to be able to get up and go whenever I want.
Yeah.
You know, your mom and I, we had a great, great, great relationship. We got to do all that. I'd say, hey, you know, my friends call me, they want to go, but you want to go with me? She's like, no, I'll go. That's okay. Sometimes she would go, sometimes she wouldn't. One time I went to Ron's studio. I got out of class at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. And I called her, saying, hey, I'm going to stop by and see Ron. At 3 in the morning, she calls me, are you okay? I was like, oh, damn. I didn't like, I'm still here with Ron. We're, you know, sitting down talking with his friends and everything, drinking a couple beers, whatever. You know, and one guy goes, oh, you know, haha, your wife's checking in on you. And my brother says, you understand that when he got here, he was on the phone telling her, hey, I'm going to come visit Ron for a little bit. It's been 5 hours.
Wow, 5 hours.
All right. And she waits till 3 in the morning to call him because if we went to the club's closed, you should be home by now. Right. There was one time I was driving home from the UTEP UT football game and I witnessed an accident, went over, rendered aid, whatever. Cops took my statement, and at that moment, your mom calls. And they're like, I was like, can you talk to my wife? Let her know that I'm not in trouble. You know, because you can hear the sirens of the ambulance and everything, right? Like really close. And he's like, no, you know, your husband helped out with whatever. I'll never find anyone like her again. And I don't compare relationships to her, but I had what I wanted. And I'm not going to find anything like that. You know what I mean? She truly was my best friend. I do miss her a lot. You know, losing a spouse can be difficult, but losing a best friend is even harder.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this managing up and everything. Let's talk about some of those questions we need to reflect on and to determine if we're going to be doing this right or not. So let's look at some of the afterburn questions.
In today's Afterburn, here are some questions for you to reflect on. What does my manager value most in an employee? How can I make my manager's job easier this week? Is my current communication with my boss effective? What could I change? We all know the Murph Man is not perfect. What questions would you reflect on, Murph Man?
All right, so the questions. What does my manager value most in an employee? You know, sometimes you have managers that want someone that works, and has no relationships with anybody, no friends, no nothing, right? Sometimes they want someone that is more social and more accepting. Because like I told you, I've had the two employees. I've had the one employee who had a very private life, very friendly, very good, you know, but did not socialize with us. And then we had another employee that worked with us that was just weird. Nobody really wanted to talk to her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, that happened. Okay. We had these two different kind of employees. So I can tell you, I don't want someone to be my best friend, but I do want someone to interact with me at work. You know, that's what I really care about. You don't have to be friends with me, but interact with me, you know.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends at work, we just started the school year and she quit. She got another job. And I sent her a message yesterday and she didn't even answer me until this morning at 8.
Yeah, that's not bad. Almost a day. Not even a day.
Right, but she didn't even look at messages yesterday.
Okay, then.
You announce you're leaving and you don't even talk?
Well, did she
She put a meme out on the meme chat.
like last minute and just leave?
Well, I don't know. I asked her, is this your last day? And she just wrote back with a wave. Whatever. But,
I don't know.
you know, she's a very friendly and everything, but then when she left, she just doesn't deal good with separation, I guess. I don't know. So what ends up happening is I didn't get to say goodbye. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, maybe she wanted to just like leave and get out of it.
Now,
Not say about anything.
there was one employee we had that was very difficult. I liked her. I didn't have an issue with her. Some people did. But I made an effort to be friendly with her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And even like when, someone in her family passed away, I, offered my condolences and everything, and I meant it. I don't think anyone else messaged her. That's pretty sad.
A little. Maybe that's why she left. She didn't really make connections.
I don't know why she left. I just know I had to take over the class. You don't need someone to be the friend of everybody, but you need someone who's social at work, that's friendly at work. You don't have to carry a relationship outside of work, but friendly at work. And that's why I tell bosses, you have to have them, like, for example, you and I. I'm your dad. I'm your friend. What's more the priority for me? Dad. You know that, right? And you can come and talk to me about anything. I might get angry if you lie to me, but if you were to come up to me right away as something happens, my attitude's very different versus you lying to me.
Later on.
Yeah. Okay. But we can talk about everything all day long. Like we tell people, we go to restaurants and we eat. No one knows why we don't talk at dinner. They just see us on our phones. Well, we've been driving around doing things for like 3 or 4 hours, and that's actually our break from each other.
Yeah. On the way to the restaurant is when we talk. But every time we're always like this.
At the
yada, yada.
restaurant.
Yeah. Just playing games, watching TikTok, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes we make small talk. Sometimes.
What would you consider small talk with me?
Well, like at the restaurant, just like finishing up what we talked about, or just, hey, so you see TikTok, whatever.
What's up with the weather?
Yeah. Yeah. What brand's your microwave?
What brand is my microwave? You're stupid, dude. You don't understand friendly banter? JJ Sweet, let's see. Being socially awkward conversations are friendly so hard because you're masking. Okay. Let me tell you. We all have, I look at ourselves as diamonds in the rough. Okay, you've heard of that term before? When you pull a diamond out of the dirt, it's all misshapen. It's not brilliant and bright or anything. It's actually, you have to chop away at it and you got to get to the diamond. We all have a different facet that we present to different people.
Facet?
Yeah, that is the face of a diamond, a
Oh.
side. So, inside you're that diamond. Okay, we got the jets flying overhead.
Yeah. We live by an airport. Sorry, guys.
No, like they're flying like over the house, like literally. That's why it's so loud. We are in a soundproof room, so to speak.
Well,
I know, but it's still.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. we have like the door open and stuff,
Yeah, we have the because it was really hot last night.
Anyway, so you have these facets of your life, right? Everyone sees a different side of you, okay? And you choose who you want to show your real self to. And I'll give you an example of this. I use this in graduate school. There's a wall between you and someone else. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
When you meet someone, right? There's a wall. Well, you get a brick and you remove it when you tell something personal about yourself so they can see through the wall to you. Sometimes you start pulling out a brick and you're like, oh, no. They're not ready for that brick. Let's pull out this one over here. Right? As you talk to the person over time, that wall comes down. Or the holes get big enough. Maybe they don't see their whole life, but they see everything. And like I've met people that I had an instant attraction to. And I don't mean like attraction sexually or romantically. I mean, I felt instantly comfortable with them. Okay? You don't have the energy to pretend. So don't pretend. You don't have to pretend. That's the whole point. Be genuine. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a jerk, right? But be real. Be unique. Be yourself. Don't just sit there and say, hey, I don't want to talk to you. Don't be like that, but say, right now I don't want to be doing this, But at the same time, you can sit there and you can say, hey, listen to this. All right. Talk to me about this. And I'm moving on. As you do it, before you know it, guess what? You either get rid of the person or you become friends with them. When you don't like somebody, trust your gut instinct. And you can say just no and walk away. You know, depends if you're at work or where you are, of course. The situation dictates that. But as you sit there and I'm trying to think how I can put this. When you're interacting with somebody, how much you want to share is up to you.
Well, yeah.
If you have someone who's being nosy, tell them to go to hell, right? If you have someone that's genuinely interested in you, take the time to get to know them. But you don't have to be friends immediately. But there's a big but. And it's not just my butt in the room. It's the big but. It says, trust your first instinct. Trust it. Okay, if you're always socially awkward, if you're always hard to talk to people and everything, okay, that's fine. But trust your gut. And one of the things I'll tell you is there's a book called All the Places You Go by Dr. Seuss. Right? I love that book. And it talks about how they play games. Sometimes you'll be the winningest winner of all, except when you don't. Because sometimes you'll play lonely games too, games you can't win because you play against you. That sentence to me is so interesting because you can't always win because you're playing against you. Right?
Well, technically,
you're in your own head.
If you were playing against you, someone has to win, right? So technically, wouldn't you win every time?
Well, but that would also mean you would also be losing.
So,
okay.
Would it be a tie?
In order to have a win-win, someone has to lose. You both have to lose something, okay? But what I mean is, I'll give you an example. Your mom, okay? Your mom was beautiful. She was way out of my league. She liked younger guys, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, attractive, athletic, you name it. Everything I'm not, she liked. And the first day I met her, it was just like I liked her so much. She was just such a cool chick, you know, and we became friends and I dated other people and one day I liked her and, before you know it, we started dating. It just, friendship grew. But she was way out of my league. And when I would tell people that I liked her, they would look at me like, you're stupid. Like, you have no chance. Like, look at the kind of guy she's like. I'm like, I don't know.
It doesn't hurt to try.
And
worst she can say is no, right?
Exactly. So I can tell you right now that I've dated and married out of my league with your mom. She was way out there. And everyone knew the side of me as being a jerk and unfriendly because I just don't put up with people's drama, right? When we got married, people would tell her, are you sure you want to marry him? And she's like, you don't know how he is behind closed doors. Because she saw the real me, right? And she saw the real me when other people didn't. And yes, Connor is my kid.
Yes.
Yeah. He is my kid.
He is my father.
So you see how ugly I am and see how ugly he is? Yeah, he got my traits, not his mom's.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know one thing you did get from your mom?
The skin color.
Your your hair. She was very hairy.
Really?
Yeah. She was growing a beard one time. I told you, and she went and had it waxed. And she's like, "Oh, what the hell was that?"
I don't know.
Dude, you're Chewbacca. You are Chewbacca.
No,
all right.
I'm more like a gremlin. Is that what they're called? No.
Let's find out.
Yeah, good job. You spill water all over the floor.
Whatever. But go on, a gremlin.
Oh, like one of those little fur balls.
Oh, before they become.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before they.
He's a mogwai. The gremlins after water.
Oh, I thought they were just that, and then oh well, no, never
They're
mind.
mogwais.
And then they go to ground. Yeah.
3 rules: don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. And what's the third one?
Everybody, if anybody's seen it, let us know.
I don't know. It's wrong talking about your mom's beard. She didn't have a beard. I said she had a mustache. There's a difference.
No bright lights.
No bright lights. Ah, that's right. I remember. No, she didn't have a beard. She was hairy. I mean, it is what it is. And well, let me rephrase that. Okay, she wasn't hairy all the time. During her
She was
cancer
crazy,
treatments,
Yeah.
during her cancer treatment, she had to take medication for menopause, which changed her hormones and everything, and she started getting very hairy. It wasn't because she was a hairy person. Let me clarify that. But I was telling Connor, she actually went and got waxed one day because she thought that's how you got rid of facial hair.
Did it hurt?
It hurt. She was all like red and cherry. It was funny. And I'm like, what are you doing? She said, I don't want to shave. I'm like, well, you could get an electric razor that shaves you better than almost as good as you're on your lips. So you just rub it over. You don't have to worry about keeping your goatee lined up or whatever. Just shave yourself. So I bought her a razor. And the hardest thing I ever had to do. This is something completely off subject, but a subject, sort of. Was when she started having her hair loss. I shaved her head. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Was take off her hair. And after she went through treatments and got better, she started growing her hair back and everything. That's when the hormones kicked in and she started having all this beard stuff. Yes, bless her, please. But yeah, the thing is, she was out of my league. If I like something, I just do it. That's, for example, Christmas presents or birthday presents. Do I need anything?
No.
If I need something, I buy it, right?
Yeah.
The Grumskin gave me a watch.
That was nice. That was a nice watch.
It is a nice watch. I don't use watches, right?
You don't?
Because my wrists are very thick and it's hard to find watches that fit me.
Well,
And her watch fit me perfectly.
I wonder where she got it from.
I don't know. I mean, literally, I put it on. It wasn't tight. It wasn't loose. It wasn't everything. Because I had a watch that was bigger that had, I've lost weight, so the rings were loose, So I don't know how she did it, but she found it perfectly for me. This is a father and son show.
Yeah.
KG Sweet wrote. It is. That's why I started, because of him, He didn't realize the whole first year of our episodes was all about him going through college. Remember when I told you that? You never realized it?
What?
Like, our whole first episodes starting off with you in college was to prepare you for college and the challenges you would face along the way, like talking to your teachers during midterms.
Yeah, it's true.
It was all me to give you advice because you don't listen to me. So by doing it here, I was able to tell you things that you normally wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah, never heard of that. If your kid doesn't listen to your advice, start a podcast. Never heard of that.
Right? Start a podcast.
Start a podcast.
Yeah.
No one listens to you.
And what's funny is when I wrote this, just so you guys know, I have 68 episodes that I pre-wrote because my favorite number is 69 because that's the year I was born. And I want to do something special with the episode. But Connor asked me, what do we do after that? I said, I don't know, start over?
Day one of college.
Right? So I'm like, how are we going to handle that? So we'll talk about that later. But Joel, don't talk about my beard. That's funny. So just you don't have a beard.
You ain't got no beard.
And he's still not listening. No, he's not, right? I tell him he is so contradictory to me. Anything I say, he always has the opposite point of view.
Not always. Some stuff, yes.
Mostly. You're always contradicting me. Even my friends have pointed out to you, like, why do you do that?
Because I do it for a reason.
What's the reason? You think I'm wrong?
Sometimes.
But
sometimes you could be wrong.
I never said I wasn't wrong.
Well, I know, but that's why that's like one of the only reasons I, talk with my and argue. Not argue, but have different perspective on it.
A perspective is one thing. You straight up say no, that's not right. No.
And
No.
sometimes I'm right,
If you,
but it's just
okay, let me ask you a question. On a percentage basis, if you would have listened to my percentage, a certain percentage of my advice, what percent do you think you look back on and say, "Damn, he was right"?
well 80%.
80%.
Because I mean,
Imagine if you would have just listened to me the first time, right?
still 80%. Still 80%.
I'll tell you what. We're gonna take a quick break, you guys. We will be back. Question authority is okay, but when you're trying to give someone advice and everything, and they don't take it, you're like, oh well, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And hindsight is always 20/20. But even then, he still says I'm only 80% right.
Yep.
All right, you guys. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages. What?
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murphman will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey, from the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Before we get back to the show, listen up, El Paso. Many things are coming to El Paso, and you want to stay in the loop. We are setting up trivia, bingo, and karaoke coming to locations near you. Follow us on all the social media platform at purehottakes.com to stay updated.
All right, we are back. Now, I was monitoring the chat over the break, and JJ brought up a comment. She said, the hot thing. And she says, tell him not to touch the hot thing. He's doing it.
I have no idea what hot thing she's talking about. What's so funny?
You know, when you're a baby and you're younger, your parents tell you, don't touch the stove because it's hot, or don't touch this because it's hot, or don't touch my vape because it's hot, or don't touch my joint because it's hot, or whatever.
Okay.
And then you're a little kid going, you touch the stove and you burn
And then
yourself.
yeah.
But like, I told you don't. Right? That's what she's referring to. But my thing is, I tell people, you don't learn anything until you have a personal consequence. Right? So it doesn't matter what you do if you don't learn it. And you can still touch the fire more than once and get burned. Like for example, I told Connor, you know, you're not 420 friendly.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I thought it was like 365, like a year and like a quarter of a year. I had no idea what you were talking about.
420 friendly is when you're either smoke or do edibles. And you use marijuana, you smoke marijuana, you know, you're friendly. That's what it means. And a lot of people have to get high to interact with people, you know. And I don't like that personally. You know, we don't do drugs. I'm okay with drugs. I'm okay with people doing edibles.
I'm okay with people doing drugs like near me, but
I will tell you, there's
yeah, nah.
there's two kinds of marijuana. You have sativas and indica. And sativa is the more aggressive psychological effects, like hallucinations and everything.
Really? I thought sativa was more relaxing and just
Maybe I have it
drowsy.
backwards. Look it up real quick.
Let's see.
Okay.
Forensics help me out.
Yeah, we're not 420 friendly, so.
Well, I tried. Well, not tried. What?
All right, so what's sativa?
Sativa. Oh, energizing, stimulating, reduce anxiety, increase creativity, increase focus.
And indica?
Relaxing, relief of pain, decreases nausea, increases appetite, better sleep. So, okay, I'm thinking indica. Okay.
Okay. So there's also what they call hybrids, a little bit of both, right?
We call it gardening.
The thing is, when you have an edible, you have an edible that you eat, like a cookie or something. That cookie has a dose. Okay?
What's a cookie?
A cookie with marijuana in it has a dose. It's an edible.
Okay.
You eat it. You can have gummy bears. Now, if I give you, you know what a regular gummy bear looks like, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I give you a gummy bear with an edible in it, how would you eat it?
Open the package.
And
pick it
shove the
up,
whole.
just eat it.
Do you even know the dose of the gummy bear?
No.
You're supposed to like bite the head off and save it.
Um,
Wait a couple of hours, see the reaction, and then say, okay, I can eat 2 parts of the teddy bear. And you got to try it. I had a friend of mine who came from Colorado. He had some edibles, and he gives it to a friend of mine, and she grabbed all three gummy bears and just popped them in her mouth and ate them. And she tells me, hey, your friend gave me some edibles. I'm like, oh, really? What did he give you? Oh, the gummies. Oh. And I said, where are they? She goes, I ate them already. And I said, you need to call your work and call in sick tomorrow right now. You're not going to work tomorrow. She was like, what? I'm like, I don't know the dose. I went to the guy and he says they're 30 milligrams. So she had never done edibles.
Is that good, or how much is that?
100 milligrams is what people who use it regularly take because they have a high tolerance to it.
Okay.
She took 100 first time.
Wow.
Yeah. And she wasn't doing good the next day at work. She was fried. Or she didn't go to work. And, so.
Sometimes, not even like for edibles or anything, I just have my ADHD. I get a gummy bear, and I'll eat like part of the ear or part of the legs. And just like nibble at it.
But regular, not edible.
Yeah, no, regular.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm just like, because you said like bite the head off and keep it.
Yeah.
Just regularly, I would.
So you're practicing if you ever do edibles how to eat. No, but H was telling JJ Sweeten, and he says, I really love how you interact. I sent her a message personally and told her thank you for that. I didn't do it in here in the chat. And she says, Connor makes his dad work for it. Yes. Yeah, yes, he does.
That's why I thought she meant hot thing, like arguing.
Arguing?
Arguing. I was going to say argument.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
A meme. Argue meme.
Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like we're high, but we're not. This is just us being stupid. All right, real quick. Let's. We have a segment that we talk about technology. It's called our Digital Inferno. Let's talk about that real quick, and we'll be right back.
Digital platforms are key to streamlining communication based on your boss's style. Use Asana or Trello to create a shared in-progress board that your manager can check asynchronously, removing the need for daily interruptive status updates. Always use email or Slack to send a weekly win/blocker summary, ensuring your manager is constantly informed of your contributions and any roadblocks before your scheduled check-in. Let's talk about Connor's favorite subject, AI and technology.
Speaking of technology,
it's every time on breaks or on videos.
I told Connor, check the tray, and he says, what are you talking about? That's a taskbar. I'm like, no, the taskbar is the bottom part of it, and the tray is to the right. So look, if you click on the arrow up, see how that pops up?
It's still part of the taskbar.
No.
I'm saying that's a taskbar because the arrow is for icons that are not shown on the taskbar.
No. There's still room on our taskbar to show it. See, this is the contradictory stuff I'm talking about. This is the bullshit that he
says the bottom bar is taskbar, but then the right side of the taskbar is a tray. The whole thing is a taskbar.
You say the whole thing is a taskbar?
Yes.
Watch this. Is there a difference between taskbar and tray? Now remember, he's a computer science major. Yes, the tray, officially called the notification area or system tray, is just a smaller part of the entire taskbar. The taskbar is the whole bar, and the tray sits in a corner of it.
Still part of the taskbar.
But it's not the taskbar. It is the tray.
Yes, it is. It literally says it's part of the taskbar. It's a smaller part of the taskbar. It's a quarter part of the taskbar.
Connor, the tray is just a small part.
The taskbar.
The taskbar is the whole bar.
It's still a taskbar. If it's a small part of it, it doesn't matter.
The tray.
If I'm 1% black, I'm black.
Then why? Don't get me started on that. You listen. You're doing this. I need this. Okay.
Bubbles.
www.zipit.com. Right. Okay. The tray has an official term for the notification area.
Yes, but
hold on. It's called. I said it's the tray in the taskbar. It's not the taskbar in the taskbar. That means it's a separate component altogether because you can turn off your sys tray.
But
you can turn off notifications. It's different than a taskbar.
Well, no, you could take off the apps.
Yeah.
You can mute them. You can turn it off.
Right. It's your notifications. But the sys tray or the tray or the notification area is part of,
the
but
taskbar.
not called taskbar because it's a different component altogether.
I never said it was called the taskbar. I'm just saying it's in the taskbar.
It is in the taskbar,
That's
but
what I'm saying this
it's
whole
not
time.
the taskbar. It has a different name for it.
How is it in the taskbar, but it's not the taskbar?
Because the taskbar includes that. Like I'm trying to. Okay.
Yes, so that
All right.
it's still part of it. If it's in a category, but it's a topic,
okay.
it's still in the same category. Is it not?
Candy.
Is it not?
Candy.
Is it not?
Nerds.
Is it not?
Nerds. Right? The candy nerds. What are the candy nerds?
Nerds. Candy. I don't know.
No, what are the nerds?
Pink, purple.
What's considered the nerds?
The thing inside it.
The little rock.
Like candy?
Candy.
Yes.
Those are the nerds.
Yes.
You have a nerd rope. Right?
Okay.
You have nerds on a rope.
I've never seen this, so I don't know. But yeah.
Okay. Well, you've seen the nerd clusters. The little candy gummy things covered in nerds. It's a nerd cluster. That's the whole thing. Made up of the gummy and the nerds.
Yeah.
Called a nerd cluster. You have the task bar with the
task
tray
in the bar, which is...
Look, they're laughing at you.
You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, all right. JJ, I love your interaction. Choose one. Is notification and tray the same thing? I mean, notification and taskbar?
The same thing. You're saying something completely different, John.
Okay.
And I'm telling you something, and you're like, yes, it's part of this.
It's okay.
But what I'm saying is not what you're saying.
We won't block you, but is Connor right?
We're both right.
Or
John.
am I right?
We're both right.
You think we're both right? Let's see what she says. Let's see if she answers. All right. While we're doing that, let's talk about our digital inferno. Did we already play it? We did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. God. All right. Use a single trail to create a shared in-progress board with your manager. If your manager uses a different program, great, because whatever you use, but your boss needs to be able to look at it and go, this is where they are in their projects. For my business, we use ClickUp. You go in there and you have projects. You can see where the status is. If Connor's part of the team, he can go in there and he can update his portion of it, and you can see the tasks that are being done. Okay, ClickUp is free. Use it. Also, use email or Slack to send a weekly win or blocker summary, ensuring your manager is constantly informed of your contributions and any roadblocks before scheduling a checkup. So basically, giving them a heads up.
I was right. Said the same thing, but differently.
Okay.
All I was saying was it's in the taskbar, and you were saying something completely different. All I said is in the taskbar, yes or no.
All right, she says, see?
But I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
I said you're
But we
right.
had this whole argument.
But I'm saying
what?
you're right. And
now, right? After you Googled it and all that? Yeah.
But we're saying the same thing differently. And I'm saying yes, and you're still arguing the point with me, Connor.
Because you were wrong. You were right, but wrong. Yeah, I've been telling you.
And I said
we had a whole argument
we were
for
both
what?
right. We're the perspective number 6, number 9, right? It's the same thing.
That does not clarify into this.
Hi, Connor. I swear, sometimes you're just so funny. All right, so technology.
Technologia.
It's out there, you guys. There's so many things you can use out there. It's ClickUp is something I'm learning how to use. There's various different things. There's Zapier. There's just a million different products out there that you can buy.
Never heard of any.
ClickUp is because you don't use them. ClickUp is free, and I use that one. And it can incorporate an entire team. You can actually have like emails. It can read all of your emails. You just set up the accounts in there and reads all of your emails. But they get forwarded there. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you forward an email, it doesn't stay in your email box. It gets put in this other one. Okay, so when you forward an email, you have to check the box to leave it in the original email, and it sends a copy to you. So little things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought forward was just like you get an email and you just send it to someone else.
No, like if I have my phone forwarded to you,
yeah,
and I get a phone call, it doesn't ring on my phone. It just goes straight to you. I have no record of anyone calling me.
Oh.
So you need to make sure you check off that little portion of that says, please keep in the original email. And as we're talking here, you have the technology of texting, email, programs like Slack and ClickUp. There's no reason to not communicate with your boss. Okay? Sharing a message like group chats. I hate group chats because you were here the other day when my Spanish group chat was going off.
Yeah.
How like
Bing, 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 bing.
literally,
bing, bing,
that's
bing.
how fast it was. He's
know.
not being funny. That's how fast it was.
That fast, and I was like, I'm in like 5 group chats, and that I don't think I've seen anybody text that fast. Like, holy, how many people do you have in that group chat?
9.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
but
that kind of makes
but
sense.
one person asks a question, 9 people reply,
Well, yeah.
and then person number 3 replies to person number 5, and then number 2 replies to number 9, and the whole thread is like screwed because you don't know who's replying to what. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we were doing training this week, and they're like, "What region are we?" And I answered, and that's the answer, right? The next person writes, "Oh, I did not know that." Or the next person says, "Where'd you find that information?" Or the next person, like, I don't know. I just know at some point I was told it was this, and that's the district. Oh, that's cool.
Where'd you go to do that?
I'm in region 19. That doesn't matter. Like, respect the group chat.
It's a group chat for a reason.
Yeah, but try to keep it on topic. Okay.
That technically is on topic.
Technically, but let me ask you a question. On Friday night, when you're about to go out with your friends and you have 5 friends in the chat, or how many you have in your chat, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
And someone says, "Where do you want to go tonight?" And 5 people give 5 different answers. One of you should do a poll and say, okay.
I was going to say do a poll. But we talk about it and be like, well, this place, no, because of this. Yeah.
All right. When I say, like, where do you want to go eat? Right? One of the best questions you can ask somebody, don't ask, where do you feel like going to go eat tonight? I hate that question. Do you know how I ask it? See if you remember.
I don't know.
Think. Do I ever say, where do you want to go eat?
No. What do you feel like eating? Yeah.
What do you feel like eating?
Even though I say burgers, there's like 20,000 joints.
Oh, okay. But that narrows it down.
To what? There's more burger places than any other like fast food restaurant.
Okay, but like we can do Italian, Mexican, Chinese, right? Saying burgers eliminates all those.
Oh yeah.
So it narrows it down.
Everything,
Even though it's
everything about like fast food, then it'll just be burgers.
Oh, then the next question is, do you want to sit down and eat, or do you want to get it to go?
You can still sit down in a fast food.
You can, but that's the next question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a restaurant you can go sit at or take away. You can go to Chili's and take out, but I'm not going to order a burger from Chili's and not sit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they kind of.
So asking this one question, your answer is always burgers. you need to meet JJ. Hey JJ, real quick, what area of the country are you? We're in El Paso. Anyway, asking the question, what do you feel like eating, narrows down a lot of the issues and it prevents a lot of arguments with couples. Okay, because it narrows it down automatically. Someone can tell me, I don't know where I want to go. Okay, what do you feel like eating? I want some tacos. Okay, do you want flautas or do you want tacos? Do you want meat? Do you want chicken? Do you want... Okay, because see, I eat a lot and I know where to go, right? And I try new restaurants just to try them, right?
Yeah.
We went to his restaurant over there in front of UMC one day. We haven't been back. We didn't hate it, but we just tried it, so now we know what it's like,
Yeah.
And it's Mexican food in El Paso's almost all the same, except when you try menus or something. Pacific Northwest, she's out in Washington. Always rainy and cloudy over there. I love that. I love that. I've never heard of you guys getting floods, so that's a nice thing about that. I love the weather. Colorado is also really cool for me. I lived there for 4 years.
Yeah. I want the
go
heat.
back. Well, yeah.
Take some away, guys.
But we don't have the tornadoes. I was going to say we don't have the earthquakes, but we've had earthquakes.
We live by mountains,
Yeah, we also had a explosion 1 block over.
And we also...
We thought it was an earthquake.
Had floods.
We've had floods.
I saw it on TikTok. You said it. You mentioned it the same day to me, and later on, I see someone like in a kayak. Literally, just I'm like, oh okay. I'm like
Lake Piedras, right? There might be water on the roadway. There was water from the Spaghetti Bowl all the way to Cotton, like the bridge to go up on Cotton. That whole area was a lake. A lake. It was huge.
No, speaking of Spaghetti Bowl, Donnie.
Right on the beach, right on tsunami zone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yes, you know, see that's
That's
we don't have
crazy.
to worry about that either.
Thank God.
You know, tsunamis is not something I think of when I think of a place to live. I think of like if you don't like the rain, you don't like the cloud, you don't like the snow, don't go to Washington. If you like hiking and stuff like that, and you're 420 friendly, go to Washington.
What would you do
And if you like Starbucks,
if there's a nice place, but then it's just there's a tsunami coming. And you
I
didn't
mean that's
expect
the only
it.
risk.
Yeah, but you didn't know about it till you bought the house after.
Well, if you live on the beach, there's a tsunami. I mean,
Well, not the
that's-
beach,
that's-
but like in a city that you know.
Well, if you have a beach in the city, you have to expect tsunamis. That's just a given,
Well, true,
right?
true.
Okay. So that's why you got 8 minutes to get to higher ground. Not always 8 minutes. Not always 8 minutes. Sometimes you have 30
Well-
minutes. Like some more tsunamis, you can have a earthquake in Russia, right off the border of Russia, and it takes 2.5 hours to get to you. Sometimes you can have one right off the beach and you have no warning.
So
So
isn't 8 minutes the warning,
no, that's
or
what I'm saying.
is it when you first see it?
No, it depends on where the earthquake is. That causes a tsunami. The further away it is, the more time you have. But if
Oh,
you have one right
obviously.
there on the beach, or close to the beach, you have a minute.
Well, I mean, would
Yeah,
a
you're not going to
tsunami-
see one.
would a tsunami by the beach be as big, since it's right there, closer to ground?
No, it's not about being big. Listen, if you're further away, it travels like a sound wave.
And well, yeah,
Okay.
and then it gets bigger as it goes. But if
If-
it's by the beach,
if
it
it's
won't
closer
go
to
that
the
far.
beach,
That's what
but-
I'm saying.
It creates the tsunami wave and it's going to be higher because it doesn't have a chance to dissipate.
Hmm.
Now,
Well-
now, what's really cool about tsunami
I thought it was
is
small sound wave, and then it gets bigger as it goes farther, and then when it hits ground, that's when it starts.
well,
to
what
dis-
actually happens is as the ground starts going up, the wave that's underneath
starts to
gets
die down a
pushed
little.
out of the water. No, it gets pushed out
Oh,
of the
pushed
water,
out. Mm.
and
Oh,
depending on how much
yeah.
force is behind it, will determine how far it goes.
Okay.
And do you know how to tell if you're on the beach? Do you know how to tell if a tsunami's coming? Let's see if JJ knows the answer. Do you know how to tell if there's a tsunami coming? If you're standing on the beach,
Yeah, I know how, but I want to see JJ.
and of course it goes away from you because the earthquake's there, and it goes. Yeah. But if you're standing on the beach, and there's a tsunami coming in, how can you tell? That's it. You know what
Yeah.
she means?
Yeah.
You're literally on the beach and the water is going away from you. So what's happening is this tsunami is pushing the water up, and it's sucking
Sucking all the water
yeah.
in, and then takes it back to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So if you're on the beach and you see that happening, run. That's your warning. Get out of there. In 2004, when the tsunami hit Indonesia,
Oh, look at me. I wasn't even born.
December 2004 tsunami. I'm trying to think where that was.
2004 tsunami. It's an Indian.
Phuket. Phuket.
No, Indonesia, Sumatra,
Okay. What's the date on that?
December 26th,
Okay.
2004.
So, this is not funny. Let me preface this. It's not funny. My father was murdered over Christmas,
Yeah, I'm like our father.
and
I'm
we
like,
found out on December 26th, and we got to the city, and we got there, and they're like, it'll be the second story on the news tonight. And I'm like, what's more important than someone being murdered? And they said this tsunami that killed 100,000 people. That's why I know the date.
8.8 magnitude.
It was huge. It was
Wow.
huge. It was huge. And
It took 10 minutes. Wow.
yeah, and people saw it coming and they didn't do anything. They just did all the resorts that were on the beach there. Yeah, that's why so many people died. No one did anything.
227. What? 2028.
What?
Or 228,000 casualties.
total. No, yeah, but I'm saying at first it was like 100,000 just poof. Yeah,
dude.
December 26, 2004. I remember that that date in my mind will live in infamy.
Mhm.
All right, so anyway, use technology to do some of this stuff here. And the final burn for today is
The final take from today's discussion is your boss isn't a mind reader. Manage up by being the most reliable, proactive, and solutions-oriented person on their team. Let's get back to the Murph Man and Connor and wrap up the show.
your boss is not a mind reader. Manage up by being the most reliable, proactive, and solutions-oriented person in the room. If you guys follow that advice, you'll see a lot. Okay, you'll learn a lot. So let me tell you, that's it for today's show, you guys. We will see you next week. Next week, we will be here live again every 12 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain on Military Broadcast Radio. And next week's episode is, hold on. Oh, jeez. I had it and I closed the window when I was moving to it. It's not letting me go to it. That's crazy.
What?
I can't go to my episode 49. Well, it's the professional development plan charting your career growth. So we'll talk about that next week, you guys. All right. For now, I'm the Murph Man signing off. This is Connor.
I am Connor. Signing off also.
Deuces.
Bye.
Thank you for watching today's episode. Check us out on all social medias at Pure Hot Takes or go to purehottakes.com for more information.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information about what we talked about today, visit purehottakes.com. And if you want to watch the full replay or get access to our premium content, subscribe now at stream915.com. We appreciate you tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans.